Welcome back to another episode of Grown and Unscripted. I'm Sean. Welcome back to episode 4. Appreciate the feedback and everybody that watched or listened to episode 1 through 3. 1 through 3. Yeah, I said that right. Big news before we get into the rest of the podcast. So don't skip off. Don't do any of that. If you want to skip ahead to the actual topics, do that. But we are officially on Apple Podcasts. I finally got it to work. So we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. So if you want to watch my pretty beautiful face, go to YouTube. If you want to just listen to my nice little soothing voice and you have Apple, go ahead and download Apple Podcasts. Excuse me. Download Apple Podcasts and then follow the show. I'll post a link because it's not very big on there yet. Not a lot of people are following it. So if you search it, you won't get it. So follow the Instagram, Grown and Unscripted Pod on Instagram, and I'll post a link every time I drop an episode or just when I'm sharing an episode. So same thing with Spotify. I think if you search it on Spotify, it'll pop up. But Apple Podcast, it won't. But just stay tuned for the links. But yeah, that's the exciting news. That's the exciting news I got. But a little different episode for y'all. More like a mental health check-in because a lot of people go through things mentally. Trust me, I'm one of them. I have a lot of anxiety, a lot of things that's always racing through my mind. It's like at a mile a minute. It's a lot going. It's a lot going on. So that's what this episode is about. So I hope y'all enjoy. If you can relate to it, go and share with a friend that you think can relate to it as well. But yeah, we gotta get comfortable. Hand it in the iPad. Just a little check-in though. Kind of want to give y'all a little heads up for where my head's been at lately. Even with recording 3 episodes down, I feel like this episode's a little bit more personal on a deeper level. So hopefully y'all stick around to the end and enjoy. But let me just start by saying this. Lately, I've been feeling more anxious than usual because for me, I just really have a lot going on as far as bills. And some people would consider that stress. Like sometimes I stress about it, sometimes I don't. But a lot of my feeling comes from a lot of anxiety. Because if you dealt with anything revolving anxiety, depression, I don't have depression. I'm just anxious for no damn reason. But for anxiety, you're just sitting there not trying to overthink things, but one thing goes in your head, and then while you're trying to think about that, another thing goes. Especially when you're trying to go to sleep, anxiety attacks there the most, and it causes a lot of insomnia. At least it does for me. But y'all, lately it's just been like I said, I've been a lot more anxious. A lot more like I'm proceeding with caution. I'm definitely in survival mode. I haven't been out of survival mode in probably about probably since last year, my birthday in November. I've been in survival mode since then. Probably even before that, but as far as I remember, I've just been in survival mode, anxious, and I'm really trying to get out of that with a lot more prayer, a lot more like I've been attending a Bible study, so that kind of helps on Thursdays on Zoom. I gotta get comfortable, but yeah, it's just been a lot of anxious, but you can't try to control the things that you can't control, and you just kind of roll with the punches. Like shit's gonna happen, you can't control it, and that's kind of what we're gonna get into this episode. Just want to give y'all a little check in with myself. Feel free to post or comment this clip, like repost a clip and just let me know how you're feeling, or comment how you're feeling, how your mental's been lately. I did do a couple posts on Instagram, so I will pull those up throughout the podcast. But yeah, that's just a little check in for me. Without further ado, if y'all can just go and like the video, like the podcast, rate the podcast, whatever. If you're listening, um, follow it. You can rate the episode, you can rate the podcast. Let me know how I'm doing. You can also comment on them. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Share, share. Whatever platform you're listening on, whatever platform you're watching on. Um, yeah, it helps a lot. I like doing it. I enjoy talking to myself or talking to y'all rather, and y'all listening. A lot of people enjoy it. A lot of people seem a lot more comfortable as the episodes go on, which I appreciate. But let's jump into the episode. One thing I really want to get in first is like social media influences on how we view like being alone. If y'all didn't see the title of today's episode, this week's episode is being alone versus being lonely and how social media shapes our mindset. So that's kind of what I'm getting into. And like I said, social media views solitude, and many people struggle with like being alone or what's the word I'm looking for? Abandonment. Like, but it's social media portrays, oh, it's okay to be alone, or it's okay to have like me time all the time. Like, you don't always have to go out, which, like I said, is what we're gonna touch on. So I really wanted to touch on first as being alone, what it means to be alone versus being lonely. And a few things I came up with was being alone means a choice enjoying your own space and self sufficiency. Which what I got from that is just like how I'm in long here. Granted, I have my dog, but being the only actual human in here is kind of peaceful because I live alone. And at times, like I do want other people around. I want someone around, or I want to go out and be around other people. But for the most part, I do enjoy being by myself. I do enjoy being alone and enjoying my own space that I occupy alone. Again, yeah, I have a dog, but even with him, like he does his own thing. But for the most part, I enjoy sitting here watching the show by myself or sitting here in silence, which most people might think is weird, but I like sitting in silence. I like, if you live alone, you know, at least 1 or 2 times a day you sit there and talk to yourself, and sometimes you respond because you're by yourself. Like, who the fuck is gonna judge you? And like you're always having this constant conversation with yourself, or you're constantly having like, I have dance battles with myself. Like if I'm home by myself, especially if it's like a Saturday or something like that, Saturday morning, and I'm cleaning up, being alone in your house, being like comfortable with yourself in your own house alone, and just doing some weird shit that only you could understand and you can't get judged for. I feel like that's like the epitome of being alone. Um, for me, really. So I know a lot of people say like you're always alone. You're gonna if you're anxious, like I said in the beginning, like I've been feeling a lot of anxiety lately, being very anxious. Most people would say it's not good to be alone because then you're in your head. For me, that's like half and half true because sometimes when a lot of stuff is going on and like I'm trying to figure out one thing, and like I said, a million things are going through my mind. If I'm alone, during that time I don't want to be alone, but also I don't want to be too bothered with people or like give them my problems. Like y'all get what I'm saying? So in that aspect, that's when I do want to be alone. And then whenever I'm ready to reach out to somebody to like kind of welcome them into my space like slowly and gradually for me to come out of that anxiety headspace of being alone or and wanting to just stay in that little ball, I like to call it, because sometimes I feel like mentally in my head I'm in a ball with a lot of people talking at me like shit like that. It might sound crazy, but that's just how my mind works. And another thing that I put for being lonely, the definition, a feeling of disconnection even when surrounded by people. I did ask this on my Instagram. Let me pull that up for y'all real quick. I asked this on my Instagram, but before I pull like up the responses, y'all say, appreciate y'all whoever gave the responses. Um, for me, being lonely and then still having people around, I've never really got that feeling unless I was having like an anxiety attack, where if someone didn't really understand what I was going through. But I don't think I ever felt alone when there's people around, which I understand how someone can feel alone when there's people around. But personally for me, I've never had that disconnection to where I feel there's people around, but I feel like I'm the only person there. I feel like for that instance, I feel that's more like a romantic side where two people dance in the room, but it's a whole bunch of people around, but y'all the only two there. I've never gotten that feeling of just me feeling alone. Like I'm surrounded by a crowd of people, but yet I feel like I'm alone. Which again, that's just saying you're feeling just like no one understands you, like you're an outcast in a like say you're the only rose in a field of sunflowers type of thing. Like that's like my only analogy I can get for that. I put just like the question: do you think being alone is different from being lonely? A couple people said yes, and some people said no, which no one gave any reasoning. But it's okay. I gave y'all my little 2 cents. But most people said yes. Some people said no, which I, again, like I explained, I can see why people say no. I can see why the other half says yes. Like why how it differs from each other. But again, it's all about how you're like what's your mental status at the moment. Like, do you feel like somebody doesn't understand you and that's why you feel alone, or do you just feel like, oh, that's really the only reason I'm really gathering that why you would feel alone in a room full of people. Again, it's all about what your mental health is. And just a little side note for y'all, if y'all have somebody that's going through like a mental health crisis, like anxiety, depression, just having, if they haven't told you anything or they seem distant, don't take it as offense just because they haven't told you anything. Some people really need to be alone, but do for sure check on your friends at least once a week and just make sure, be like, hey, how you doing? Because not everybody's gonna want to vent. Not everybody wants to get put their problems on other people, which I can personally understand. Because like I said, I've been going through like, it may not seem like a lot to most people. It may seem like what I'm going through has a easier solutions. Like things are easier said than done. But I don't always want to talk about it, which I can feel how they would feel whenever people are going through things and they want to put their problems like or be a burden on someone else. Um, but yeah, I just want to say check on your friends. If they seem distant, give them that space, but definitely check on them at least once a week. If y'all got to talk every day, but especially if you know they're going through, they have mental health issues or anything like that, definitely check on them. Check on them at least once a week. Have a little outing like once a weekend, every so often, just to kind of everybody can have that vent session. Sometimes I can't speak, but yeah, that's my take on being lonely. Another major thing, sorry, that I wanted to touch on with that being lonely versus being alone, how we can learn to enjoy like company around. I would say a good tip for that is being around people who truly understands you, like truly understand what you're going through. Whenever you're having those moments, they can kind of talk you out of them, distract you a little bit. It's okay, like I said, it's okay to be alone. It's okay to want to be in your own space, like be in your own little bubble, your own personal world. But at times, it's okay to have other people around, like like-minded people, people like I said, people who understand you, and like the best people to be around. Not everyone's gonna understand you, but also everyone can, like some people that you're cool with can kind of catch the hints of when you don't want to be bothered. I feel like being around those people like kind of helps because I'm one to like, I love a good distraction. Like say if someone's mad at me, and like I hate when people are mad at me, so I try to lighten the mood or do something like not overbearing to make them continuously mad, but I try to do a little something to like figure out why they're mad and see if I can like, make them feel better and less angry at me. If that, oh my god, I keep choking. If that makes any sense, but just how to enjoy someone's company, just have people that's of the like same like mind, or someone that kind of understands where you're coming through. Like I said, that person that can give you like the best distraction when you feel like you're getting in that mood. But again, if you're feeling like being alone, having someone like text you, not like someone that's constantly blowing up your phone to be like, hey, what's going on, hey, you can talk to me anytime, I understand. And those people that do that, they really don't understand a lot of like mental health stuff. But that's just my 2 cents. Of course, always drop you what y'all got, with y'all opinions in the comments. Share the video, tag me in your response. That works as well. Like I was saying, that I'm doing being alone versus being lonely and how social media influence our mindset. So social media really, if y'all have noticed, a lot of things on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you like to watch your little reels on, they always preaching self-care to the point where solo trips are always a must. I'm not saying they're not a must. I'm not saying you shouldn't take them. But again, sometimes it's great to make memories with other people as well. Make memories with yourself that you're always going to remember personally, that has like, what to say, an important remembrance to you. I don't think that made sense, but y'all see where my head is. But it's also great to make memories of other people, like friends, family, and things like that. Which social media really, like I said, really preaches that you should really, I'll just always take a solo trip, always do things alone. Like it's really glamorized in a way. So it's always preaching the soft life and solo luxury trips, which idolize. Like I said, it's okay to be alone. Like you can live the soft life. You can live the soft life and have so like luxury trips with friends. Like you can always live that soft life with your significant other. Like it's okay to like enjoy people. It's okay to let someone else handle things for you. You don't always have to do it by yourself. You don't always have to look at these videos and be like, "Oh, that looks nice. I do need a self-care day." Self-care days are fine. Everyone needs to be alone and have like enjoy their own company, but like it gets to a point where if you're alone too much, I feel like a lot of people get into their head and then they become so independent that they don't know how to always ask for help. So if you're gonna make memories by yourself, cool, fine. I'm not telling you not to do that. But making memories of other people is just equally as important as having a self care day. Some may argue with the fact about that, but that's just my opinion. And I think a lot of people have a big thing with FOMO, which I haven't heard, y'all. I haven't heard FOMO in so long, unless it was like a thing about like a movie. Like it used to be so like big on a commercial back in the day. I might be tripping, but FOMO, if you didn't know, is the fear of missing out. It makes people feel lonelier than they really are. Like you see your friends, say you're like at home and your friends asked you or didn't ask you to like go out and hang out with them. Like it's a group of three, you and two other people that you were cool with. Say they work together and then they wanted to go out after work to get a couple drinks and they didn't invite you, but you see them posting pictures saying needed this or long day at work, needed a drink type of thing, right? And you see these pictures saying, "Oh, these motherfuckers are fake because they didn't invite me." So you look at your stalking the page and seeing every Snapchat they post, every Instagram story they post, Facebook post, everything like that, and you feel some type of way because you see them hanging out together and they didn't invite you. Granted, like I said, they work together, and maybe they thought you were busy. Maybe they thought you wanted to rest or you had a lot going on before and they didn't want to bother you. You're seeing all that and you have FOMO, fear of missing out. And then that makes you feel like no one cares, makes you feel like you're all alone, like you're a burden. Like it's just a lot it may not be like all of that going through your mind, but mostly people with that, they think that everybody's supposed to hang out with each other, but they see the other friends hanging out together and you're just over here chilling, watching everything. It makes you feel like lonely. It makes you feel like you should be there and they should have invited you type of thing. But again, what if you already told them that you didn't want to do anything, you wanted to rest, but they wanted to go out? Like, let me know how y'all feel about that, because I think that's a lot of controversy with friend groups. Like, it's a lot of y'all, and say you didn't want to go out, but your friends want to go out, and you see all them having fun, they just gossiping and shit like that, and you just like, oh well, shit, they could have just canceled. One, if I'm saying I'm gonna go out and you don't want to go nowhere, I am not canceling because you don't want to go nowhere. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm gonna go out and have fun. If you want to be home sitting like a bump on a log or a couch potato, that is on you. Granted, I really want to go anywhere, and when I do, is I really, really want to go and I really want to get out. It's okay if I go by myself, or it's okay if I have like a friend or two that want to go out, and say my significant other doesn't want to go out, and it's like, oh yeah, go ahead. That's okay. You can go alone or you can go with friends. Or you can watch your friend. It's okay to watch your friends have fun. If you said you didn't want to go, if you're retired, you don't gotta feel some type of way all the time, unless them bitches was acting fake beforehand. Then that's a whole different story. All right, but I say all that to say for the social media preaching the soft life and having luxury where you're doing things alone versus the FOMO missing out. It's I looked it up. It's called comparison culture. Constantly seeing curated lifestyles affect our emotions, right? Studies, I did research for this, y'all. This is so cool. Studies or insights on social media might affect on loneliness and mental health, right? So going into this next little thing, you have to find a connection between healthy solitude and real connection. Because a lot of times when we see things on social media, we see all these people doing these live alone, how living alone as a 20-year-old, a full day of eating as a 20-year-old, full day like spend the day with me, self care diaries, video diaries, things like that, and they're doing this shit every day, doing the same routine. Maybe they vary, and they'll show you, oh, I went to the coffee shop, editing a little video, doing homework alone, and they're teaching that you can do this alone, you get more productivity done. Excuse me, you don't always need someone around. It's like take care of you, girl, and take care of only you, because niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't shit, and you can only depend on you. That's literally the epitome of what social media teaches, right? Um, but yeah, so saying all that to say, we need to find a healthier balance between being alone, having a healthy reason to be alone, or being healthy like my mental wise while being alone, versus having a real connection. Well, let me explain. So, ways to enjoy solitude without feeling sad is, like I said, on Saturday mornings for me, I'm either cleaning up or like in blasting music and having a little fucking dance off with myself. Like from my bathroom to my living room, there's a door, and I can see myself, and I sit there and just stare at myself and clean shit, and then look at myself in the mirror and start dancing. That is me. Don't judge, relax. I see you laughing, chill. Um, or I'll just like sitting here do some weird shit with my dog. That pause. That sounded weird. Like play with my dog, and then like we just do like shit that we do together that no one understands. Like if you have a pet, you get what I'm saying. I don't do no weird freaky shit. Like that just went so left. It's okay. No one go get this far unless you do mind business. That's not what I meant. But yeah, just kind of in a way that's kind of like romanticizing being alone. Like that's a different topic for a different day. I might get into that because I saw a podcast and it kind of makes sense. But like just enjoying yourself, doing what you do alone, where no one can judge you. That's just happened what I like to do alone, or I'll sit here and watch like anime by myself because someone doesn't like to watch anime. She thinks it's weird, but like being alone, that's enjoying myself alone in a healthy way versus having all this stress on myself and then overthinking and just thinking, sitting here in the dark or just sitting here on the bed, just staring and crying and things like that, which may have happened a time or two. But we cry and we get over it, we pray and we keep going. Really, all you can do in life. You can't dwell on the situation. So I'm just leave that at that. But setting bound. So first, then this is for social media. You should set boundaries with social media to avoid emotional manipulation. Again, I'm gonna explain these things that I wrote. Okay, I'm gonna explain. So the way you can set boundaries, I mean, you can't avoid the things you see on your for you page. Like you can, because you can like say, hey, not interested in this, but you don't have to compare how you spend your time alone versus say like a huge social media influencer or somebody that's just a random average Joe like you, and be like, hey, I should do that, or I'm the same age and I don't have my little self-care days like that, or I don't do such and such like they do. And then you get in your head about it because you've seen it on social media, and that's when the overthinking starts, and that's when you be like you just get into your head. So a way you can set boundaries on that, like I said, you can hold down on the screen on TikTok and just be like not interested, and then you can really build that for you page brick by brick. Because I have the things on my for you page are either funny, cute animal things, or some like movie shit. Like it's really random. Like I don't have nothing that I don't want to see on my for you page. Like I don't want to see no sad shit. I don't want to see dogs. I don't want to see animals dying. I don't want to see I don't want to see morning routines. I don't want to see none of that. I don't. I haven't seen anything. So like you can set boundaries for yourself. Or oh, let me know what y'all thought about that part. Let me know how if you ever try to set boundaries, like what does your for you page look like? That's the question. What does your just your TikTok for you page look like? Because I know some of y'all got some weird shit on there. I know some person has animals on there 24/7 and maybe some funny shit. Like theirs is 50/50. I know somebody else that has a lot of car stuff on there, a lot of hair stuff, nails. Y'all know who y'all are. All right. So really just set boundaries so you're not really comparing your how you spend your time versus how someone else spends their time. Really always have a mental health check-in with yourself. That is ultimately important. Like I said again, if you have friends that have mental health issues, please just check on them at least once a week, once or twice a week, depending on their severity. It don't really depends on the severity. Check on them. Check on them, please. They may not seem like they want to be bothered, but that quick little message, don't call, little folks. Don't call. Not everybody like to be on the phone. I know I don't. Don't call me. Text me, please. Family, text me. Don't call. Text. Just asking. Just saying. But yeah, just send them a quick text. Even a quick text can make someone's day. Like, hope you have a good day. You got this. Like little words of motivation, like inspiring words, something like that. Like they may not respond to it like right away, but trust they see it. Unless they're one of those people that constantly have their phones on D&D, then they'll eventually see it, but they'll see it. Just saying. Um, Again, it's not really a hot take today, but y'all will get one. I don't know if y'all really enjoy hot takes. Let me know. But we about to wrap this thing up. I'm gonna show y'all like I did ask some more questions on my Instagram that I'm gonna let y'all know who answered. Well, not who answered, but I did a mental health check in, which I think I'm gonna start doing that every once in a while, like once a week. Like I said, checking with friends once a week. I'm gonna do that once a week to kind of to actually like will mark how they're doing. Like it's just a little check in, like it's anonymous as hell. So if you see it, if I post it and you follow me, just click one. I'm out. I'm a great person to vent to, but I'm really not a great responder all the time. Like I'll listen. Odds are half the time I will understand what you're going through. And I'll truly just if I don't understand what someone's going through, like I'll do my best to give some encouraging words. I will never be like, yeah, man, I understand how that feels because you don't always understand how someone feels or what they're going through. Like if you've never been through it. So if someone never been to you, don't tell them that you understand if you don't understand. Because then you're gonna get follow up questions and you don't want that. I'm just saying. But like I said, I did a mental health check in. Options were how are your mental, and it says pretty good, decent, struggling, but I'm here. Couple people put decent, and a majority of people put struggling, but I'm here. That's what y'all know. Keep praying, keep going. Troubles don't last always, like the old folks in the Baptist church used to say, because it doesn't. It may seem like it does, but I promise you, it doesn't. I'm learning that shit. I'm learning that myself. Excuse me. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Again, check on your friends. Share this video with somebody if they can relate. If you have anxiety, trust me, I understand. Wholeheartedly. It was a little different episode for y'all. Hope y'all, rock with it. Let me know what next week's topic is gonna be. I have something in mind. Actually, I'm gonna tease it a little bit. See who gets on there or not. Next week's episode it's about damn dude. It's about like how people really encourage the hustle culture and things like that. That's what I got for you. That's what I got. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, share the podcast. Share it. Share it. Share it. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, listening, watching, whatever you're doing. See y'all next time.